Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to the stream of Europa Universalis 4, where we are playing the Community Clash. I am here, sitting in my Overlord's position, just watching from the skies above in Observer mode. As I was saying in the run-up to this, there are a couple of players missing. We'll go through and work out exactly who in just a moment. We still have players doing their setup. They'll probably be unpausing in a minute or two. So, of the players who are not here, Denmark is absent. Holland is absent. Well, Holland is here. He's just having tech issues, so he's not able to join right now. Let's see. Let's play map mode. Morocco, or what's he called now? What country is that? Andalusia is absent. Ava is absent. Diviet is absent. Arabia is late, but will be joining. Ethiopia is absent, and in fact no longer protected. This is his second absence. And you're probably noticing a absence right here. The Ottoman player has decided to drop out of the game, so the Ottoman territories are up for grabs. So I think kind of the biggest question for this session is who is going to grab the Ottoman territories. I suspect there are a couple of players who are definitely interested. I would think Arabia is. So Arabia is going to be kind of upset by the fact that they're not here right now and they're going to be arriving late. I hope they're not too late to divvy up the Ottomans. And in fact, no, they don't have an alliance with the Ottomans anymore. I think they cancelled that one last week. The Ethiopian player is not here. So Arabia has actually got two neighbours currently who are not protected, having dropped out. I suspect the Commonwealth will have something to say with that, and may well go after the Ottoman territories. Whether the rest of Europe lets him expand in that way, I'm not sure. They might. And then the other absent player, and no longer protected, is Muscovy. So I suspect that the Commonwealth is probably going to be facing east a little bit more to try and grab the Russian territories before the Timurids do, and the Timurids are probably going to try and do the same thing. But the divvying up of the Ottoman territories, because we know that Anatolia and the Balkan territories / Greece are really, really valuable. So it's kind of a big deal. Also, we've had a couple of subscribers coming through. Eagle Slayer, thank you very much for the Tier 2 resubscription for 2 months now, 9 months total. Thank you so much. And then Lord Silverose, 13 months. Nice one. Happy to have watched you in your streams all this time. I am very happy to have had you here watching. Oh, was that guy? No, they're chatting about something and I completely missed it. Oh well. Congo. No, Congo is here. He was one of the ones who said he'd be late, but he wasn't. Who else is missing? I know I've missed somebody. No, actually I haven't. And Clem said he'd be late.
Mordred.
Hello.
805, you want to hit play?
Yeah, go for it. Good luck. That guy is in. How is that guy chatting? Oh, Holland, he is there. Duh. Okay, I can take him off my protected list. Alright, so Holland is here. He must have been just loading in. Uh-oh. What's happened? Oh! Because Denmark's not here, Ireland was able to piece them out. Because remember, at the end of the last session, we finished the game with Denmark and Ireland being embroiled in a huge war. And it was swinging backwards and forwards wildly. Holland was involved in some other wars against other people. I think against France? Maybe it was the Austrian War? It was the Prussian War. They were attacked by Prussia, which meant that they didn't join on Denmark's side during the war against Ireland, even though I've heard from behind the scenes it was actually the Netherlands who were sparking the conflict here. And because Denmark is not here, the Danish AI has just pieced Ireland out, even though the Netherlands, or Holland, because they still inform the Netherlands, actually just joined. So even though the Dutch armies just arrived, the Dutch navies had just arrived, Ireland got out. And also the other thing is the Portuguese were going to be joining on the Irish side. So it's basically Ireland and Portugal versus Denmark and Holland, but it has ended. I do wonder what the peace deal was. Did Ireland take anything? Because at the time, Ireland was, I would say, winning. I don't know. Doesn't look like anything was lost. I think that may well have just been a white peace. Or possibly money. You mean ending a session on a war was a bad idea? Who knew? Exactly. That's why you should never, ever, 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 ever do it. The wisdom that's come across from us from the developer clash is definitely holding true. Don't ever end a session at war, otherwise something like this will happen. Although usually it's other people jumping in as the diplomacy has been going on. Sorry, my voice sounds really rough, I don't know why. The other set seems to be going on is Andalusia backing off. So who were Andalusia at war with? Was that another Portuguese one? That was the war against Prussia? Truce with Montferrat, truce with Prussia. And that one only just ended, so I guess Prussia and Andalusia were still fighting. Maybe it was because Andalusia was fighting Portugal still? Okay, I don't remember. It feels like ages ago, even though it was only a week. We have Danish pirates still doing what the Danish pirates do best. Privateering. Supmi is still alive over here. Sweden player has switched over to Ava, but Ava is not here today. They are, however, protected. So, for those of you just joining us for the first time, protected status basically means you can miss one session. If you aren't able to make a session for whatever reason, I get it, real life is here, your nation is protected. That means that other players may not declare war on you, and if you are allied to that protected nation, you cannot call them into offensive wars. And if you do happen to get into a war with them somehow, like if they're defending or something like that, then you have to white peace them. You can't actually take stuff off of them. Which basically means that you have one session leeway, and then if you miss 2 sessions, then sorry, but your protections are called off, and then you become just open territory, as I'm kind of expecting will happen to the Ottomans and to Muscovy this session. I'm going to be watching that with real interest. I do wonder who's going to go after it. The other one, of course, is Aragon, which is no longer protected. So Aragon was going to be divided up, probably now between Portugal and France, seeing as Andalusia is not here, and then the Ottomans. It really depends on when Arabia arrives. The thing which to me is the most interesting is the fact that Arabia no longer has an alliance with the Ottomans. I think it's because we knew from last week that the Ottomans wouldn't be here, so plans started being made, but during that protected status they couldn't attack him, and then this week, like, that protected status ended and war can be declared. What's the estimated time of the PLC integrating Hungary? They haven't even begun. Yes, they have. Nope, they're integrating Novgorod right now. 85%, and they're going to be finished in November 1608. So I've got another 4 years to go to get Novgorod integrated. And if they go after Muscovy again, they may actually just keep adding territories to Novgorod, which will extend when that ends. In other conflicts, I strongly suspect that we'll see a Mughal Timurid this session. They've already started to delve pretty deeply into Delhi. They probably don't need very many other territories from Delhi. Let's just double check that. Form the Mughal Empire, what do they need? So they need these 2 provinces still. So there's going to be one more war against Delhi and then also against Malwa. Malwa, who's not allied to anyone. That's a very dangerous position for Malwa to be. However, Vijayanagar is right here, and Vijayanagar probably doesn't want to see a Mughal player in what is effectively their backyard. So whether the Vijayanagar notices this issue and decides to guarantee Malwa, that would probably be a fairly good move for them, because it would guarantee that Vijay Timurid war sparked off. And Vijay has a lot of allies. Portugal, Arabia, Brunei, Ava, Timurids, not so much. They don't have many allies. In fact, they only have Brunei and Japan. Neither of which could really do... Well, Vijay has a big coastline, so they could do a lot of damage through blockading, and they could also try and do hit-and-run attacks against the coast itself. Although, if Vijay was able to get Portugal in... Although it would be a defensive war against Malwa, so it wouldn't necessarily get allies. It would be interesting. It would definitely be interesting. I'm not sure PLC will want to annex Hungary, it just makes them look even scarier than they already are. Like, that is one of the sneaky things that Helson's been doing in the Commonwealth, is because he has so many vassals, including Bohemia, Hungary, Novgorod. I don't think Sukhov is. No, Sukhov's actually a Muscovite minion. Sweden is nothing, and Sapmi is a Danish minion. But the Commonwealth does look less scary than they otherwise could. Unless, of course, we go to the player map mode, in which case you see the true strength of the Commonwealth right now. Like, that is scary. That is, in fact, terrifying. And the Commonwealth, of course, is allied to Austria and, well, they're friendly with those two. I don't know if they're actually officially allied. Yeah. Commonwealth and Austria are allied, but we know there are good relations between Prussia and the Commonwealth. They haven't been allied because the Commonwealth has so many different diplomatic relations going on. Like, they're already maxed out just because of all the partners they're leading. Oh, and Albania being the other one. Oh! Commonwealth may well feed Albania and Hungary Ottoman territories. I'm wondering if... what province is this? Lincolnshire was released. Oh, hot join. Who's this? Tarrant. What's that? Name rings a bell, but it's not one of the regular... Oh, that's Whiteneck Raven. Yeah, okay, cool. Alright, so Ethiopia is now no longer not protected. And once again, we're stuck, not able to look at anything while this is happening. So in the meantime, hello to you all. I hope you're all having a fantastic Sunday, a good weekend. Anything interesting happened? Anyone celebrating or going to celebrate St. Patrick's today? Who are we missing today? We are missing Denmark, Ava, Andalusia, and Daviet. And then no longer protected are Aragon, Muscovy, the Ottomans. Ethiopia's here now, so they are actually okay. Yeah, it's those three that are kind of the big ones. Which I'm definitely expecting to see some wars popping up over this. Oh, one thing which I realised I don't think I checked once last time is a nation that's over here. Unfortunately, I can't click on the map to actually just zoom to it, so we're going to have to scroll very, very slowly. Because it's all the way on the other side of the world, and is actually got a player. And that's Japan. I don't think we actually looked at Japan once last time, so I'm kind of curious to see what they've been doing. They've been expanding here into Siberia and Sakhalin. They've got a tiny bit of Korea, but not a huge amount. And I've heard talk that they're interested in trying to take the giant Ming monstrosity down, and have been asking other players for advice on how to do so. So
Hello.
I am wondering if we'll see something about that. Hello.
Oh, the sound?
Yeah,
Hello.
that sound. Hello.
Hey, it's Marley here.
Hello, Marley.
Is it okay to talk for a bit
Yeah, absolutely.
while we're waiting? Yeah, I didn't really have much time last session, but I will say this: I was the winner of that war.
Yeah, you kind of got away scot-free from anything being done against you. Because you were fighting against Portugal and Holland, right?
Yeah, and I threatened Ireland for give me my core back or I'm gonna go to war with you.
Right.
and
I'm
he gave it, so...
Slowly but surely scrolling over to you. Unfortunately, half of you is Terra Incognita, because I got the Commonwealth selected right now. But did you get all of your lands back? No, you
Yes,
still...
all my cores are back.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I also want to thank you for, like, the session when Ireland, Portugal, and Holland attacked me. I kind of panicked after that.
Yeah, I remember that.
And the fact that, well, you did take time after to talk a few bit of rules, like I only took like 2,000 in depth. I was planning on giving it to Congo, which... and, yeah, thanks for actually calming me down and thinking, yeah, I might not be doomed.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Mali is all the Europeans usually want are your coast. They just want the coast. They can skip off and like hit South Africa or South America. If you can hold on to that, then great, but you're almost always going to have the center, and then you can basically use situations like just happened last session when Prussia declared war on Holland, and basically using the international wars or the European wars in your favor. And you did. You capitalized perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely. But the thing also was that I was kind of panicking about was that Holland was making claims on my gold provinces. So it's like, if I'm going to lose that, then, this is going to be bad.
I have a feeling that Holland was getting a little bit too overconfident because his international situation is definitely not the most stable.
No, it seems like most people are tired about him, both allies and rivals.
He's definitely been something of a warmonger. just a little bit.
Yeah, and that's saying something considering the Commonwealth.
Yeah, our next door, almost. Well, there's Prussia and then the Commonwealth, but yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, as soon as Ethiopia's loaded in, I'm going to click on you so we can actually see Mali in all its glory. Because you have a big border with Andalusia now, do you not?
Yes, I do. And I've also been trying to feed Songhai provinces, so I will have this big northern marsh to protect me.
Oh, that's a good idea. So how are relations between you and Andalusia? Obviously it's an AI right now, but if Serificus was here...
Well, that's the kind of the thing. When I attacked Holland, for example, Andalusia stayed out of that war, even though they were allied. So that's good. But I mean, from the start, I tried to make this kind of African confederation between me, Congo, Ethiopia, and Andalusia. And later, when Arabia showed up, I also tried to get him in. But Arabia was willing to give money, and Andalusia, I never really got any good hold of him, so I can't really see if we're on good terms or not, and especially after I've been hurting their allies.
Well, I think the thing with Andalusia is he's been so focused on Spain, so if there was anything you could do to help him in his Spanish wars, then he'd probably be a very willing ally, but even though you're both in Africa, you don't really have that many overlapping spheres of influence.
No, which is kind of, I think, we're both going to stay neutral to each other, but that was also the thing. I was offering my A-team, like, hey, shall we attack Portugal at the same time? And that didn't happen. Instead, because of that, I actually ended up... Because I didn't join that big alliance, I ended up winning more than I would if I joined him.
Yeah, because you were just independent, it was like just this one war, they can piece you out very quickly, just you can get your stuff back, because you weren't looking for more.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So are you worried at all about Europeans coming after your coast again? Because one thing which is still kind of scary for you is you are still in the Ivory Coast, and the Ivory Coast is probably the second most important trade node in the game.
Yeah, which is kind of why I'm trying to become, if not allies, at least kind of friends with Portugal, in the sense that once his debt is gone, we're going to talk about me giving him trade power for subsidies.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's also why he's going to be able to keep his his trade company in Ivory Coast, as to maximize that trade power. And
I mean, there's going to be a lot of money flowing through there, so you might just want to try and take a portion of that for yourself. I mean, you do still have quite a few provinces, and you have uncolonized territories in Cameroon.